I believe that if those at the helm of affairs are not right in their reasoning and thinking, we won't see what we've seen here today. So I give this commendation to the entire team, and finally I commend you, sir, for this beautiful work you have done here. Thank you.
I want to find out how many of such illegal refineries have you destroyed? And the second question goes to the Minister of National Planning. We hear about destruction of illegal refineries all the time, and I want to find out, is it not possible to harness these illegal refineries? Is it not possible to harness the technology? Because this is a technology evolving from our place. Is it not possible for us to use this technology to solve our refinery problem?
Where is your position now with other agencies who in time past chased you almost out of this very project? Are you going to work with them now? Now you are bearing arms, having dogs, so that that collaboration will bring effective check of security facilities. Thank you.
You said you don't need money, you just need the land. Are you implying now that every gadget you require to run this force effectively is in place?
In terms of who comes next, one is in the hand of God. But then our manpower development and capacity building has got to show that we are building a house, we are building human capacity, and we are also putting in place relevantly and appropriately people who can be there today, who can be there tomorrow and next tomorrow. Hence, you see the initiative and creation and establishment of nuclear, biological and chemical weapons, which is here to be seen and to be heard. Thirdly, we also ask about what is going to happen. I tell you, the project we have embarked upon is visible, conspicuous, and can be translated towards the next vision of Nigeria in the year 2020. And that's to tell you that we are proactive in all that we do. What I want to say is this. As far as the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is concerned, we have said it, we are still saying it, and we would like to also emphasize this. One, it is not a duplication of functions, it is not an apology to its creation, and we are trying to justify our existence and collaboration and synergy with our sister organizations, making ourselves relevant not only for now, but in the nearest future. Thank you and God bless you.
There are specialized institutions in the petroleum industry. There's the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, there's the University of Technology, Petroleum, that have been established by government to do that in the areas of research, development of technology and development of local capacity. The problem with the illegal refineries is that, you see, one, the first is they are illegal. The second, which is even more serious, is that they are really puncturing the pipelines that are either going to the ships for export or going to the domestic refineries. And really you cannot allow that sort of thing to go on because of the amount of damage. In the process of trying to steal a few barrels of oil, the amount that is spilled, so the loss to the country, the damage to the environment, it's really very, very serious. The cost of those activities to the nation is really so huge and stupendous that I don't see any rationale for saying, why don't you leave them? In terms of development of technology, the government has set up appropriate institutions to do that. Thank you very much.
Presenting Comrade Abba Moro, the National President of NAWAJ. The Permanent Secretary, FCT, is with us, and I think he has not been properly introduced. My brother, you are welcome. You are most welcome. Let me, on behalf of my colleagues and all of us on this tour, particularly the reporters and the members of civil society organizations, express my appreciation to the Commandant General, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Force, Dr. Abodori, whom I knew for quite a while before I joined the Federal Executive Council. He's been very, like the NUJ President described him, he has been very, very focused. and honest in the management of resources. And you can see that where there is honesty, there will be results. It is very, very clear. Where there is honesty, there will be results. And also part of this tour is to look at best practices that can be used as example for all public servants. That is what we want, all public servants. So when we have resources allocated by government, let us make a name with it for the country. Let us use public money honestly and give our country good facilities. This is the problem we always have. So when we come to a place like this, where you have an entire academy with all the infrastructure we saw, you know, lawns everywhere, well landscaped, and he's saying he spent 1.5 billion in this whole complex and everything we have here. And I think this really is an example of how public money should be used. Part of the transformation agenda, as my elder brother, the Minister of National Planning, will always tell us, is good governance. Good governance, accountability, transparency, results from government expenditure. This is what we need all over the country. So we see that good governance is the purpose of this tour, and we will be reporting on best practices. And I think this is one of those practices that we need to report on. Finally, the Civil Defense Force itself, when you see them, you know, look at the guard of honor that was mounted, you look at the dexterity with which they performed, you wonder whether they're the Nigerian Army or Civil Defense Force. We want that because the challenges we face in this country cannot be met by the army alone, cannot be met by the police alone, cannot be met by immigration and other services alone. We need this buffer, you know, to back up the police and other security forces to deliver results. There are certain civil operations that I believe the civil defense can do well, particularly in busting this type of crime, you know, puncturing pipelines and other things, and I think we need a civil defense. The question about pipelines has been answered by my brother. But let me tell you today, the greatest threat to the Niger Delta region is illegal refineries and the puncturing of pipelines. The ecological disaster that this represents for our communities is something that has not been properly assessed. And any community in this country today that still believes that they can puncture pipelines must remember that those communities that are living in have been there for billions of years. Our forefathers handed over safe security places for us. The pollution that is going on in the Niger Delta, the contamination of safe water, contamination of farming land. If these communities do not stop illegal refineries, if they do not stop the destruction of pipelines and the pollution of the environment, the greatest danger to the future of people of the Niger Delta, and indeed our nation, because they are our people, is going to come from those illegal activities. We cannot solve the problem of refining by illegal refineries. Government has a robust policy to refine our oil. So it is the policy infrastructure that the president has been trying to put in place. And I believe once that is done, even with the greenfield refineries that already the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and private stakeholders are doing, we are going to have that problem solved. So it is in the interest of those communities and our nation that we never look at illegal refineries, particularly the destruction that is going on in the Niger Delta, as a solution to the problem in the downstream sector of the economy. So the journalists have a duty to report and highlight the environmental disaster that thing represents for the future of that region. Let me thank you. I will be moving on. And for those who say there is no progress in Nigeria, I leave this as an evidence. Thank you very much indeed.